Hey guys, if you love QF's content on our free Sundays and Thursday sessions, then please visit our Patreon page in the description and sub to the Black Kluge tier or higher for full access to not only our bonus weekly Tuesday night shows and the alternate Sunday shows you've been missing, but also to the exclusive episodes not available to the lower tiers. It's roughly the price of one coffee a month, and nobody at Starbucks will make you laugh like we do for that kind of scratch. In addition, when you sub to the Black Kluge tier, you'll get 2 weeks advance access to each Thursday session on Patreon before it makes it to YouTube.
You know, nowadays, because there are podcasts and everybody's podcasting and on the radio, everybody now thinks they know how to do radio, they know how to do talk, they know how to do... But you've never gone on a radio station and had to get ratings. It's nonsense what you're doing, sitting in your house with your podcast. Don't listen to the noise of the internet. If I listen to the morons who sit and comment on my show, they don't know what's in my brain. They haven't had a career for over 40 years. They don't have a clue. They're sitting at home living with their parents in a basement somewhere writing about me. Use your fucking head.
I mean, I guess it's good for people who just want to be on the radio, but there were a lot of really bad broadcasters who got weeded out by the system. Now they don't get weeded out anymore.
Oh, no.
If they've got 10 listeners, they're happy with it, and they do these shows, and they get their friends to come on.
I've been doing this a long time. I'm somewhat jaded, I guess. You know,
Jaded in what sense?
in the sense that I'm no longer captivated by the microphone now that everyone has one in their basement. So, you know, the idea of, you know, everybody having access to my job is a little annoying and doesn't exactly get me. I wasn't excited about the job beforehand, and now I'm really not excited. The medium was supposed to be just for a select few people who get on radio stations. What's happened is now everybody has access, and I don't like it. I mean, it's just annoying. Used to be special being on the radio. Now I'm just a douche. I literally go to parties, and I'll meet some woman there. She go, "What do you do?" I go, "I'm on the radio." There she goes, "Oh, I have a radio show." It's so fucking annoying, I can't even tell you. Those guys, you know, which gets me crazy because I spent that entire career in radio for nothing. I should have just been broadcasting out of my house all this time. You see, Haktua got a podcast.
I can't imagine what that's going to be about.
I got a tape I can play you where she's entering her studio, and it's going to annoy the fuck out of you because it took us 40 years to get a great studio, and Haktua appears to have a better studio than we do. You know, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, you have a radio show? I just interviewed the Vice President, Kamala Harris." And they're like, "Oh yeah, I did too. I did it in my bedroom."
Yeah, I did
really?
too.
Okay.
Call Me Daddy is my show. Right.
Yeah. I just did it on Call Me Daddy. What is that? Everywhere I went, they were like, "Heard you on, what was that show I did this summer?" With the three guys.
Smartless?
Smartless.
Yeah.
Go, "Heard you on Smartless." I go, "Smartless?"
Welcome, folks, to QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm Filmer, your host, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and with me in the breakdown circuit again is Miss Raven Alexis. How are you, my dear?
Hi, Fillmore. Hi, everybody. I survived another week of horrible shows, and we're going to share all 3 days with you in this one sitting. I don't know if you'll get them as 1 or 2 episodes, but it's pretty much, there's nothing that stood out in the past year or so that we haven't covered. Mm-hmm. And I decided let's just go with the most current stuff and give everybody a taste of the slop and trash, hot trash, as I like to call it, that the show has become.
Yeah, and if we have time for blinds, guys, we'll do them at the end. We'll also discuss a little bit some of the comments that someone made. I think it was Billy made it on our Patreon rather, about the corporation aspect, like maybe the idea that maybe Stern owned Ralph's place outright. I'll read her post, and I'll read a couple other posts, and we'll include that as well. And Raven has a great dedication that we'll save until the end, and we hope you guys enjoy it. First clip is from April 21st. It's called... It's a short clip. 1 degree for King Baby.
Hey-o! A little bit warm in here. Guys, can you lower it 1 degree? 1 degree. Hi-oh! Just lower it 1 little degree. So I may work.
What a deal.
Absolute comfort. Most important. Good morning, everybody.
So one sec, is he in studio for once, or was he at home?
He's in Florida.
Yeah.
He's in Florida.
Who's guys?
And he's got IT guys, right?
Oh.
And I think they can control his house.
You're
I
kidding.
think that the staff controls his volume, and the IT guys who seem to be on when he's on live, because he's actually asked them questions. We just never covered it, I don't think. But
Wow.
yeah, he can have people change all the settings. Now, if that was me, I would totally crank that heat to like 95
Yeah,
and I'd cook them.
You love the heat.
I'd cook them.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. There's in the last season of The Boys, Homelander goes and to the place that raised him basically. Tells one guy to go in the oven that they put him in. You fry him alive. I was thinking if only we could put Wiggy in there, that would be fantastic.
Oh, be amazing.
He would burn like kindling. Anyway, so that explains something. There are fuck ups he does in the show, but they're his fuck ups in terms of I can't find my notes. My
screen went black.
Screen went black. But I mean, there's certain things he's done to screw up something that isn't related to sound, let's say.
Not finding his notes, throwing them away.
Right. So that means that explains a lot. That means he put some scratch into getting someone to maintain certain standards, like having a Scott the engineer again, but instead it's some 20-something-year-old most likely.
Yeah, I think their names are Matt and Jeff, his IT guys, because they've answered questions for him about like VPNs and getting porn down in Florida, and
no kidding.
Setting up TikTok accounts, and if it's not them, it's his assistant Laura who has to do everything for him.
Yep. Next clip, guys, is called "What Can He Do?"
My name is Jim Dunlap Picks. So I go to order some. It was such a fiasco. It was like going into outer space.
By the way, it's Jim Dunlop. It's not Dunlap.
Of course it is.
I just realized that.
I'm tired of that. I can't, I've gotten to the point where I can't.
Picks be a problem.
Well, I can't do anything for myself. So I'm disgusted with myself. I usually have my assistant order all this stuff. And I said, I would like to order something on Amazon. I'm going to do this myself.
You're going to do it. You're taking control.
I'm going to take control of my life. I'm tired of everyone having to do things for me because I'm a big baby.
No, you're not.
And at this point, I can barely do anything myself.
You do take your own walks. The people don't walk for you.
Well, no, but people walk with me and make sure I get to where I have to go. It's like really bad. I talk about being out of touch. I don't want to read the news anymore. Just want to be in a cocoon. So I got really disgusted over the weekend because my wife's always on the computer buying stuff, and I never 50 packages come here every day. I don't get anything.
They're not for you, none of them.
Right.
So guys, stop trying to send him anthrax. He's not going to open it.
Unbelievable. This guy.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I mean, and there's more to this. You'll hear all about the fiasco, as he calls it.
Yep. This one's great. Robin's crazy thought of the day.
Well, anyway, they had this guy on TV, and I'm like watching it going, oh, great. I could have lived for 400 or 500 years maybe, but instead I'm going to drop dead like a regular person.
But let me tell you one reason why I decided.
Okay, before we go into that, that's his biggest fear, actually dying. Like
dying
right now, not existing. His legacy, he's not going to be around. He knows he doesn't know what you can't control what people say about you when you're dead, and certainly not when you're alive. But he's mortally, deathly afraid of death, not existing anymore,
Correct.
Not being able to be a veal and all this shit. But claims he hates his life. He loves it.
Thing is, he is reading about these stories about people being able to, fix diseases and prolong life. Like not cryogenic, but be able to fix people so they could live for hundreds of years. And he thinks this is going to happen in his lifetime or just after he dies. And he's all upset about it. He's almost consumed by it on some shows. He's talked about it before.
Yeah.
But the fact that, he just, oh my God, what? So keep playing. There's more. We'll get to Robin's crazy thought, but this
okay.
guy.
That death is a really good thing for humanity.
No, not for me.
Yes.
For humanity, yes. Not for me.
Okay. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, look at what's going on now. I know you don't. But when those people go, that will be out of the world. So death is a good thing.
No, you're a depressed person. But me, I'm an optimist.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So again, we're seeing his selfish side. It's fine if everybody else dies, just
Yes.
not me.
You got it.
And Robin, I think Robin's checked out already. I think she's ready to go. But
Yes, I think so.
this just goes to show that, like, for all the times they say they don't read the news, they don't know what's going on in the world, they put their head in the sand. It's not true. And we'll get to more clips about that. And of course he's reading the news. He just won't discuss politics or people that are, anyway, tangent to the politics and what's going on. But he does reference stuff constantly that's in the news. So it's another lie he's telling us. And Robin, she's just on another planet. I don't wish anything bad on Robin. I enjoy her more than him because she puts him in his place. And she gets cut out of interviews. She gets ignored sometimes for her comments that she'll say. It's just like she's a second-rate citizen, and I guess she's just trying to hold on for another contract.
I think I'm going to put together a clip and we'll do it. I guess it's sort of self promotion, but we're going to take the most cringeworthy clips because I should say not cringeworthy, uncomfortable clips of stuff on the air where, like that, for example, at the end of the Cher interview when Robin comes in and Howard can't get her off fast enough. Like Robin starts talking, and you could tell he wants her off that fucking line, and he can't scramble to the plug fast enough to cut Robin off, and it's frightening actually, because that he has no control over that. He's actually doing that because inside he's like, no, it's about me,
100%. It's like she's like a fly in the ointment for him. She's just flying around his head, annoying him. And he wants all the attention from the interview. He wants to be, the best interviewer of all time, which we all know is a joke. But still, it's like he only wants her when he's slow in conversation or he needs a laugh track.
Yep.
Or somebody else to chime in and help fake laugh at a bit, or a staff member or a whack packer.
Yep.
That's, she has to know her role, and I guess he gets frustrated with that. And questioning him on things too, which is what we love, but he hates it.
Next one's called Jelly Bean or At It Again.
I go on this Amazon to order these guitar picks. The guitar picks, mind you, are like $5 for 12 or something.
He says this Amazon, like, that fangled contraption Amazon, like some old duffer.
Zoompa.
Yeah.
Very inexpensive item, but I'm excited. And I got all the way to checkout.
Yes.
All the way to checkout. And I have automatic, I got an account. So you can buy, all I got to do, I put in the wrong address. In other words, it was going to send it to the wrong address. It was going to send it back in New York, and I'm down in Florida. I said, I went, now I'm not going to, and the guitar pick's supposed to come in a day. And I'm like, now
in a day to the wrong address.
To the wrong address, and then I'm going to have to pay to send them down here, FedEx. By the time I'm done, these $5 guitar picks are going to be $55.
Okay. Mr. 100 Millionaire has to have them FedEx down to his place. They're $5. Order a pack for New York, order a pack for Florida.
Yeah.
Done. Simple as that. You can also cancel, which we're going to hear about how Beth had to help him cancel it. Fucker.
The other thing I'm thinking of, doesn't he have enough money to buy someone, to not buy a human, but to hire someone with a sports car to fucking take it to his house in record time? Like a Ferrari, something. You know what I mean?
Of these options. Yeah.
Right. Like you're dependent on
pissy.
FedEx. Come on, dude. Jesus.
The guitar picks. This is my life. So I panic. And I call Beth. Where are you? Where are you right now?
Shades of the Bowie dinner saga. It was, Beth, where are you?
Yes.
I'm downstairs.
Good callback.
I just ordered the pics on Amazon, but it's going to... Okay, calm down. Like, calm down, Junior. I mean, old man. like it's like talking to your dad, trying to walk him through the computer. I go, honey, you don't understand what's going to happen. These $5 pics are going to turn into $55 pics. I'm going to have to fly them into here and fly them. I said, it's a big fucking mess.
They might as well put tariffs on them.
And then I start tantruming. I go, I knew I shouldn't have tried to order anything on Amazon by myself. I should have waited for you. She goes, it's not that big a problem. Go back in and hit change order. I did that already. No, you didn't do it right. Go back in, look for... I said, I hit it. And then it asked me for new credit card information. Well, it was fucking crazy.
What?
And it's ruining my day.
You know what? I've done this before.
I know.
All you do is go in and cancel the order.
Well, that's what Beth told me to do. I am telling you, Robin, every time I hit cancel, it wouldn't work. And Beth's on...
Okay.
It's
So
not funny.
he
It's
has
not funny for
Apple.
the reasons. It's not funny for the reasons he'd like to have you believe that this is some fascinating story. But go ahead.
I'm pretty sure he just hit the back button or
Yes.
tried to swipe to the last screen. And that doesn't do anything. If anything, it confuses it more and it's going to ask for you to pay again. And you're going to end up getting 2 of them, which he may have done. We just don't know.
I pressed the delete key on the keyboard and nothing happened. So this is absolutely the problem you might have with your elderly mother, for sure.
Hmm.
But he's not new to the internet. He's been online since he was able to, like in mid 90s, and he's used the internet since then. It's not like he went, rustic and decided, no guys, no electricity, no nothing. We're gonna go Swiss Family Robinsons and the rest of the way, and outhouses and shit. No, he has been he has an IT team, whatever. Amazon's not that complex. If you know where to look, and even if you don't know where to look, you can find it now. It's easy. It's getting easier.
Well, do you think this is the first time he ever ordered anything on Amazon by himself?
Yes.
At 71 years old?
Yes.
You don't think he's okay? I'm. That was my question to you because I kind of want to believe it is, but then I'm like in disbelief that this guy has gotten this far in life and never had to order anything for himself off of Amazon, not once.
This is what I don't understand. Do you remember the first time you ever ordered from Amazon? What year it would have been?
No, I have no clue.
Okay, I can tell you.
Couldn't even guess.
I was into eBay when it started, and I'm going to say 90, mid to late 90s, so 95, 96, 97. As soon as I was able to order books and CDs and stuff, I would order from Amazon when I could because the prices were really good and shipping was horrible. But if you added a bunch of things, you could justify it a little bit. But so how does that? It's almost 30 years now that I've been doing it, and there's no way even an adult at some point a normal adult wouldn't order something from Amazon, knowing that that's especially now that the service is expedited. You got Amazon Prime, all that stuff. It's pretty easy now, unfortunately.
It's very easy. I mean, if you have multiple addresses or payment like credit cards set up for it, it's easy to it might default to the wrong address or the wrong
or an expired
card.
expired card that you had on there that you didn't delete off your record settings and stuff. And when I say unfortunately means, guys, I mean it's making people a little less efficient in finding them things in their own town, like they know where you used to go, and we're all getting lazier. But for him, it's perfect, and he can't do it.
No, it's funny. Yeah.
The phone coaching me through it like I'm up in space, like I'm Katy Perry in space. And I'm like, I said, honey, it's not working. And I only have 45 minutes to change the order. She goes, you're so fucking impatient. It was turning into World War III. She goes, just take a breath. I'll walk you through it. I say, can't you come up here? She goes, I'm in the middle of it. She was doing something with this animal rescue. I go, I'm an animal. Rescue me. What about me? What about me? Why?
He is a veal. It's true.
Total jelly beaner move on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she saunters up 5 or 10 minutes later. I go, it's too late. It's too late. She goes, it's not too late. Put me on your computer. I'll cancel the pics and then we'll reorder them. I don't know. I don't even know what I ordered. Well, shh. All right. I put her on my computer. She bing, bing, bing. Cancels everything. She goes, now let's put it back in. I can't put it back in. I don't remember what I ordered. It's like I'm like tantruming like a baby.
Idiot.
Eventually,
Yep.
I went back into my email. I found what I ordered. I reordered the pics.
To the right address? Did you get that address in there?
Yeah, because Beth put it in.
Oh, she stayed with you.
I hope whoever delivers those pics shove them up their ass before they hand them off to him, because I'm really fucking annoyed by that. The other thing, so next one, guys, is it's a Wink Martindale eulogy montage. So these are clips that Wink did for the show.
Right. In the past, like I said, when they used to play games or give away stuff to listeners, it's the garbage from his storage unit.
Yeah.
And Wink would describe them, but he'd also hit on Robin, and he would say silly sexual things, which I love that he had a sense of humor about. And, you know, for a 91-year-old, the show's the right pace, the right speed just for him, because, I mean, it's not for anybody else, any of us younger folks.
No.
And so I decided, rather than the stuff he was talking about, his history on game shows and different things and how he got started in radio at 19, I'll just clip the awkward moments that they used him for. And I don't know if he even got paid. I think this is just like a hobby for him or something to keep him busy in his old age. I don't believe that he would pay him to be on the show. You know what I mean? Like, he could cut these clips at home and just send them to the show.
Oh, yeah. I think he volunteered and he just said, here, I'll take this in. It's like Carson. Carson used to write jokes for Letterman. Letterman writers were not paid small amounts of money, but Carson didn't need his money. And he was just gratified that he used some of his jokes in his monologues, you know, before he passed away. So here we go, guys.
Wink had a thing for Robin. I'm going to play a little montage as part of my eulogy for Wink. This is Wink going absolutely wild for Robin. And here we go.
Robin, your blouse reminds me of the curtain on Let's Make a Deal. Can you pull it back so I can see those prizes? Robin, be a dear and fart in this jar for me, will you please?
Oh, stop it, Wink.
Robin, I dropped my scoreboard. Mind bending over to pick it up?
Wink.
Hey, Robin, I'd pay good money to be your toilet paper.
You know what's funny? He hasn't said one profane thing yet.
It's true.
It's
and
also,
his voice sounds so good.
It's suggestive.
So good for that age.
Oh yeah, for God, yeah. It's like, you know, you get weaker. Your voice supposedly gets weaker as you get older, and that's true. Certainly true of my old man. He you know, but he was in his late 70s, I think, when he finally started sounding weaker. And I know, and I apologize, guys, for the last couple of months. I've not been the greatest. I've been coughing on the air. I got myself allergy tested, and it looks like I'm fine. But I do have a bit of an allergy, a couple allergies I didn't know about, and then I might have the makings of asthma with certain things. So I think that's what's been causing it. But either way, if I sound weaker, that's probably the reason why. But either way, with him, he's compressed. Howard sounds fine, but I'm amazed he doesn't sound worse than he does, given his health, his diet, his vealness, everything. But Wink died, whatever. He sounded fantastic.
Right. He has his timbre, and he, even though he had like cancer, he kind of fought off for a while. I think the family might have revealed. He was always cheery and just saying these stupid little quips to Robin.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. It was something different, at least, you know.
Yeah, big time.
Disgusting.
My throat's a little bit parched. Could I get a drink, a tall glass of Robin's pee with a bit of lemon and honey?
Get your mind out of the gutter, Wink. God sakes.
Yeah, keep your
I
mind
came
on
here to
the
do
trash.
two things, give out prizes and honk Robin's jugs. And I'm all out of prizes.
Wink is a freak. We didn't know this.
All right. Well, there.
I mean, that's something you would have got in the old, like in the early days at K-Rock. Actually, that's something because you couldn't swear on the air, and perfectly, I think, acceptable. Certainly suggestive. The next one is about Cheech and Chong, him talking about not allowing them on the air, basically. Now, here's the thing. Yeah, please go ahead. Preface this.
Okay. So Monday, he started with talking about Cheech and Chong. We're going to be on the wrap-up show on Wednesday. So a lot of it was Monday and Wednesday, we got a lot of Cheech and Chong kind of information and questioning as far as like how much money they made back in the day, getting cut out of deals or getting bad deals. And apparently they're not A-list enough for the main show, but they had been on in the past, separate and together. And here it turns out that they were on Andy Cohen's show Wednesday at 9 or 10 a.m., I think. So Wiggy wasn't going to sit around and do a late day just for them on his Friday. But they were on the wrap-up show. I listened to it. And there was a clip that was deleted when Tommy Chong asked, "Where's Howard?"
Yes.
And Baba Booey, fumbled his way through basically saying they had joked about transcendental meditation, that he was meditating.
Right.
Or, some joke to kind of derail that question, but that got deleted.
Oh, wow.
And I couldn't go back to get it. It was too late. And I don't know why I didn't clip it when I was listening. I was actually working when I was listening, and I guess I was brain dead from listening to the show all morning because I started it around 11:30. So when I finished, it was 12:30, and they had already looped it, deleted it, and reposted it. So it was just one of those things I couldn't get. But I guarantee you, Tommy asked, "Where's Howard?" And they said they just kind of fumbled, like I said, fumbled the ball and made excuses for Howard of, why he couldn't be there, but that he loved him so much. And he talked about him all day, which was true. When we get to Wednesday, I'll tell you all about the weed talk on that day.
I'm going to tell you something that I just noticed yesterday as I was making a short for the channel, and I did. It's his fake laugh. I'm just going to put all the themes on the channel, so if anybody wants to listen to I'm just for a joke about it, it's about his fake laughing. He has thrown out an edict, absolutely, to whoever it is at Sirius, that when he's laughing, there's not to be any shots of him laughing. Because because the last, like there's a few, like there's the odd clip you'll find of it, but most of because you see that look in his face, like, that horrible face he has in the laugh. He must have got a complex about it, and I put in some kind of edict about it. But one thing before we continue, this is what Cheech and Chong have actually in the Call of Duty game. They have you could pay money to have them as characters. Okay, here we go. So instead of shooting
blows
the
a
guy,
joint in his face.
Exactly, through a shotgun.
Through a shotgun, yeah.
So
I
think you pay $30 for the characters, visualizations, the finisher, all this stuff, and I'm certain it's good money that people are paying for. That's going to go into their pockets.
No, good for them. I hope they get whatever they can. They clearly are up there in years, in their 80s, but they were promoting a new movie that's gotten good reviews. It's like a documentary sort of about their whole careers. That's what I understood. I haven't seen it, but as far as what people talked about on the wrap-up show and Howard's main show, even though they weren't on it, you would have thought they were, but for how much time they spent discussing them, which is a shame, because it would have been a better guest than anybody else that we've had in a long time. Well, just hearing those two, and I think they would have gone off track too much or made references to jokes that Howard wouldn't understand, and he would have had a fake laugh and not know what they were talking about half the time with the humor.
I think in this case, it would be one of those things like the last time he had Dice on was, I think, 2013. And he was promoting, the only reason he did have him on was because he was doing Blue Jasmine with Woody Allen and was getting good notices as well. Like, and he was also doing the promo, like Woody, it seemed like Woody was like, well, I don't, I'm not going to do much promo for this. But Dice, feel free to do the interviews, and he did, and he was very congenial and stuff. Because Dice, he can be respectful when he wants to be in interviews.
That was a great film. Him and Cate Blanchett were in that.
Yes,
I love it. I love her. She's amazing. But the movie itself was good, and I'm not a Woody Allen fan by any means. I watched it even though he did it.
Yeah,
because I wanted to see Dice and and
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett. Yeah, I went to see
Yep.
all of them.
Sally Hawkins was in that, and she was so fucking good. And I forget the fella's name that played her love interest, but he was in Danny Collins, and he was also in Vinyl. Can't remember his name, but the Italian kid, younger, like 40s, and he was great too. There was something about that movie that was just transcendent. It was a little throwback, but at any rate, Cheech and Chong, they're going to discuss them a little bit here.
Yeah,
I
let's
told
talk
you
to
about
Mike.
the last time I ran into Cheech and Chong, right?
No. Where'd
I
you
saw
see them?
at a rock festival
Oh,
a few years
nice.
back out
Yeah.
in California, and I went over to say hi. And the next thing I know, I'm being berated because Gary won't let them on the show, and you got to
Oh,
tell
God.
Howard.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank God for Gary.
What a shame.
People go, why do you keep that guy around? I go, because I can blame everything on him. I love Cheech and Chong.
So there'll be a reconciliation on that Bravo show.
Oh, good. Oh, boys, I love you. Yeah, right.
What?
Let's go to Mike.
He loves them, just not enough to have him on his main show. They're not A-list enough. They're B or C, maybe D
Well,
to him.
That's the thing I don't understand. I mean, I do get it in the sense of, okay, are they, young and happening? No, of course not. But as a human interest story, and also they're going to die. Like, they're going to die pretty closer. They were closer to the end than the beginning now. And you might want to have one of those big interviews with them as one of the last interviews before they pass away.
Sure.
The Academy of Arts and Science, the Academy of whatever art. I don't. There's a channel that of film and TV. They do all these in-depth interviews with older stars, and they're great. Carol Burnett did one. Jonathan Winters did one, and they're straight interviews. They're just questions about their work in the business, and Monty Hall and all these people. And I would kill for something like that, to do a definitive interview with them, because there's so much. They've been around the business so long. You could ask them about other people, their projects, the companies, why the deals were bad, blah blah blah. Now, here's the other thing. When they do this, when Howard decides, okay, do you remember at AGT, around the AGT time, he talked to Ronnie. He said something like, "Look, Flavor Flav's wants to come back to meet me in my dressing room. I don't want to see Flavor. I love him, but I don't want to see him. I don't want to meet with him. You're supposed to stay at the door and, tell him Howard's not there, or say something like that." Like that, even when you do that and you have the buffer, the Gary, the Ronnie, whoever, it's not like they don't know that comes from Howard.
Sure. I mean, they're just human shields so
Yes.
that Howard doesn't have to look them in the eye and deal with them,
Yeah.
which, his lazy ass wants to be napping because he just had a big salmon and broccoli plate of food and that he, put down his gullet in 2 bites, and now he's going to sleep for an hour. But it's such a shame, because these guys really deserve more respect than they got.
Oh, yeah.
And they got maybe 50 minutes on the wrap-up show, and everybody kissed their ass. And it was even though it was John Hine and Bowie and JD and frickin' Richard and Nowicki playing a song that Cheech ended up singing along to, it turned into a really good episode. And I'm not a fan of the wrap-up show. It's rare when I listen. It has to be somebody good on, like Sal,
Yeah.
or guests like this, or maybe a comedian that I like.
Well, the other
yeah.
thing is, like, just imagine you and I were going to meet for coffee, right? And you called me up and said, "Listen, or you sent me a text. I can't meet. I don't have a script." Because that's what Howard is. Like, I can't talk because I don't have a script. So he's not going to meet with them, and it's really stupid, because he should be. He's of that era. He's not their age.
Yeah.
I think that he's close to it. He's not too far off. And these guys,
Right.
they should have Seth Rogen's money, and Seth Rogen should have their money. That's the way I see it.
Well, I agree. His laziness is into the next clip we're going to play.
Yep.
And why, it's too much work for him to have a bunch of guests on.
Yep.
And they talk about how they only have 25 to 30 guests a year. And the nerve of Gary to equate them to SNL, of what he tells guests and why he can't have them on, because Howard just likes to groove. Howard likes to just talk the shit with staff, and he just wants to hear himself. And he doesn't want to have to think too much or follow a bigger script with questions that someone else has written for him because he's too lazy to do his own homework.
Well, there's a bit of truth in this audio, but it's not being told the right way. So we'll play it.
Comfortable, and people want to be on the show, and for some reason we didn't have them on, and
and we love that we'd had him. We'd had Tommy on for lots of times, and Cheech on lots of times.
Howard,
you know what it is? Here's the thing. Before you tell me, Gary, here's the thing. We only do X amount of shows a year, and so I can't. Yes, I do have guests.
How many?
But I try to limit it because I still think the best shows are the shows where we don't have a guest, and we.
Okay, let's unequivocally say that they are the worst shows when there isn't a guest, and even when they're a guest, there's a chance at least something may organically happen that's real, and that an exchange might happen accidentally. It's always going to be the guest that causes this. And that, and then we get the entertainment of his awful questions. Like that's the way.
Oh, yeah.
But even the interviews, the last 5-6 interviews have been shit.
Oh, they've been trash. Some of my favorites from the past few years were Billy Corrigan that you and Dr. Bob did, and then you and Len, I think, broke down
Paul Simon.
Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Which those two were probably some of the better better interviews because of how bad they were.
Right.
But lately they've been snooze fests and nothing notable. I mean, the guests are so compliant. It's ridiculous. And Gaga was like, Lady Gaga, she was half asleep for hers.
Yeah. And she's not that old. It's not like she was busy. It's or like I understand why she might be a little enthused about being on Stern after so many times, because she's been on the show 5 times. That was her 5th or 6th interview.
Yeah, I mean it had been 7 or 8 years since she was last on, but even still, she's been on quite a bit.
Yeah.
But she had just come off of a weekend of SNL, so she was probably crashing pretty hard.
I'd say so. Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of have time to just do a lot of different things that are going on and just kind of generally bullshit and talk to the audience. So, but it's nice.
The audience of fake callers, the back office staff. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? No, that's
Marianne and Bobo.
That's delusional. But he is, be honest, he loves when there's less work to do, and a guest is always more work. Whether it's remote, whether it's in studio, whether it's preparing with notes and reading through the notes and making sure he's got names right. Even though for whatever the guy, Chris DiStefano, he couldn't get it right the entire show.
Stefano.
Yeah.
Yeah. He barely does a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
And he's got one foot out the door.
Yeah.
When he is at the, let's call it 2-hour, 50-minute mark at 9:50, he's already looking at the clock to stretch out with a 10-minute bit about Jeff the Vomit Guy or Underdog Lady, or it's just Chris Wilding coming on to do the Dr. Now voice. It's so bad. He really, it's definitely a negotiation year because he really has nothing in the tank and he's making it so shitty. And there's still the awful guitar playing. I deleted that clip. I couldn't listen to another Led Zeppelin guitar mangling of Over the Hills and Far Away, whatever.
Oh.
I just couldn't. It was bad, but it wasn't that, it wasn't the
bad
worst.
It wasn't bad
enough. It was mediocre bad. And the caller that kept chiming in was annoying and trying to play with them. So he just is phoning it in literally from his basement on his podcast. And it's I'm anxious for it to end too. So I'm like, just end it.
Yeah.
But I think he has to fulfill, because I went back and looked at the shows from the past month and they're all 3 hours, 4 minutes, 2 hours, 58 minutes, exact 3-hour shows. He's hardly giving us anything extra. And for a while, a year ago, he might have done a 4-hour show with an interview extending to 11, but not anymore.
Yeah, Len's craving a bad interview because we still have I think Bender Affleck will still be my number one.
That's
that, and that
same.
was my only regret, was that he wasn't in studio, so that we don't get the clarity of being on a good mic in studio. But other than that's a minor complaint.
But we got the bad audio. We got the construction noises outside.
Oh yeah.
We got Ben drinking and smoking during it. Yeah, it was great.
Ice
It
clinking.
couldn't have gone better.
And then the Jimmy Kimmel show afterwards, they sort of like
right at that same night.
like oh god, guys, come on, leave me alone. Leave that alone. That you don't go there. That's too far. Yeah. Okay. All right, dude. Yeah.
Just to mix it up and have a guest. But so it's hard to explain to someone that, like, Cheech and Chong are great guests. They're energetic. They're funny. They have great stories.
So have them on.
But sometimes I just don't want to have a guest. You know what I mean? I kind of want to just sit and bullshit with everybody.
No,
So
you don't want them.
that's the problem. You know.
So this
Doesn't want to work.
This also lends more credence to the we know we don't have to ask, or we don't have to figure it out. When there are certain guests in there, they're shoehorned on there. He has no control over it anymore. He can't say, I want this guest. He can request guests, but if they're pushed on his show, he has to do them now.
Most likely all contractual through Sirius or a publicist.
Like, I guarantee Aubrey Plaza was out of his control.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the staff pushed for it, being like, she's great. You'll love her. She's so bubbly and fun. And nope, not for him. Not that day.
Now, this next one is Bowie is a human shield for Big Pussy Sloucho.
I run into these people and I go, hey, I don't have anything to do with that. Gary books the show. They go, shut the fuck up, you asshole. We know what's going on.
Yeah.
We know every decision is made by you. You don't trust Gary with that.
So, Howard,
I go, no, I do. I trust Gary.
when we first got to Sirius, we were doing the wrap-up show in the fishbowl, right?
Yeah.
So I would literally pass on a guest, and then the next day they would be in the lobby. So on my way to the fishbowl, I would see them, and I would get a lot of dirty looks. But there was one guy, I'll tell you, I won't throw him under the bus in there. He stopped me, man. He stopped me He fucking stopped me. He got me right up against the wall. What's going on? And I was like, I'm just trying. I'm like, I got to go do a show. But I
remember would be the ultimate. Go.
Any speculation as to who that might have been?
Other than Pat Cooper back in the day or something like that. I don't know.
Rappaport?
I don't know. Maybe he tends to get on the wrap-up show a lot. He called in this week to talk about, Howard wanted to talk about the Knicks, but he ended up talking about Bowie's teeth, which is our next clip.
Yeah, we'll play through the clip anyway, guys. But by all means, check out in the comment section anybody you think it might be, because he said it was a guy. I'm thinking he was a comic, and someone that was regularly on the show, but they wouldn't. And not Richard Jeni, like he was gonna. That it wouldn't have been him, because I don't think he would be that kind of confrontational person.
It had to be somebody a little more desperate, like down the ladder.
Yeah,
it wasn't like an A-lister and was just looking to get their name out there, and like it had worked in the past, and then suddenly like the faucet was cut off and they weren't allowed on anymore. So persona non grata.
Yep.
Yeah. You remember what?
No, I remember one time there was a guest that was having difficulty getting on, and I fought to get this woman on the show. Like, I fought hard. And then after the show, I saw her talking to you. And I said, what was she? I could see she was talking about me, because she was talking to you and staring at me. And I said, what'd she say, Howard? And you go, oh, Gary's keeping me off the show. I hope you know, Howard. You should know. Gary's been keeping me off the show.
And you know what I said to her? I said, you're absolutely right. I had no idea you wanted to be on the show. It's Gary. After I had said no.
I'm telling you.
Here's...
That's Sandra Bernhard, guaranteed.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Because she was doing a show at Sirius for a while there.
Great. That's true. Now, no longer, but she was for until last December or the year before. I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
23. Gary gets put in all these uncomfortable spots, but he's always had to take it up the ass for Howard, no matter what. If it's about himself or a fuck up he did or somebody else, fucking up, he will take shit for it. And then he's got to take shit from people that who wants to get on the show that thinks it's going to do anything for their career. I have no clue. They clearly don't know the audience is dwindled to dust balls right now, but
tumbleweeds. Yeah.
Tumbleweeds. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, so Gary got his, I didn't look it up, the surgery aspect of it, but he got his he had receding gums. I don't know what it is. He wanted them less prominent or more prominent.
True.
Less prominent is what I presume.
He wanted
the teeth to gums ratio to favor the teeth for a change.
He wanted more teeth, less gums.
Really?
I get it. Like gummy smiles are sometimes a little awkward.
Yeah.
And his gums were really bad. Like they had black stains.
Oh.
And it wasn't pretty. I mean, they were all discolored, all over the place.
Yeah, those were this smile was made by Marlboro. You know what I mean? Like that's what that said.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's in this clip, but he got 16 teeth redone and he said it cost more than a Hyundai. So I'm guessing it was like $40,000 probably, because a Hyundai is probably like $35,000. I don't know.
Right.
Anyway, he got 16 done. So they posted a video of him, but it was shot from above, so I couldn't see it straight on.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like he got the 6 bottom front teeth and then 10 on the top, which kind of makes sense because when you smile, most people have an overbite. And those are the teeth you see more. So it's just enough so when he smiles, you see this bright white chiclets coming at you. And they're still gigantic.
Yeah, in the dark.
And they just stand out even more now.
In the dark, they would scare you. Like they'd put the fear of Jesus into you as you were in a dark night, a dark alleyway. Now, here's the thing I got to ask you. He's approaching retirement age, Bowie, now.
He's 63 or 64.
Okay, so
he had a birthday in March, so 64.
At this point in your life, why in the fuck would you spend that much money on your teeth? Unless it was corrective for the sake of like pain. Like if you had major cavities and stuff, that's a completely different situation. This is cosmetic.
Right. This is just vanity, pure vanity. And I guess he's sick of people
looking at
dumping on him. But
doing a double take when they see him.
Maybe he's using up his insurance money while he has it.
Maybe.
Because he's worried.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his knees done. He got the problem with his hands cramping up and the muscles in his hand fixed.
But if this is cosmetic, how's insurance going to cover it?
I'm not sure if it would, honestly. I'm just saying, like,
like
there might be some dental work that he got done, like a cavity or something. And then you go to a special cosmetic guy for this stuff. So it's just a thought. I throw all my thoughts out there and I don't pretend to know everything. It's just you guys can speculate, comment, please do. Maybe you have experience with it.
Steven Singer, who did his teeth. I don't know. I was hoping to, like, if I were Gary, if you're going to go that way, you should go like, I don't know, Old Dirty Bastard or something, or get like the gold in your teeth. Like if you're going to advertise, like IBM, Jeff Schick on one tooth or something. But you showed me some of the pictures as best that they appeared, and they look awful.
That was all I could grab.
They look just as bad. Like they look painfully obvious that work was done on them.
If anything, they're just glow in the dark white now.
Yeah.
The staining is gone, but I couldn't get a close up on the gums, or like I said, the camera angle was from above. So every time he opened his mouth, I'm freezing it, zooming, going slow motion through it. That was the best I could get for you out of any recent video from this week.
Guys, any more fit pictures, we will post them for you. I'll try to put a collection. Patreon's not great for that, but I'll do my best. Yep.
If any of our fantastic listeners want to put together a wig chart, not a teeth chart, a tooth chart, just like we did with Howard's wigs and the hairstyles over the years. If you want to do that with Bowie's teeth, feel free, have at it. It's just an idea. If I had more time and more skills at stuff like that, I would do it myself.
Yeah, no worries.
You haven't had the gum surgery, or you have had it?
I had the gum surgery. I saw the photograph of the before and after, but I don't have it. I'm getting it from my dentist. But it's they did such a great job. They really fixed my gums.
How did they do that? How did they get rid of your gummy smile?
I think it's the way the teeth go on, and I don't know. I don't know what they did, but they did say they were going to fix my receding gum line and make it so that it wasn't as big. And they did.
Oh, shit.
But I got to tell you,
it's not a receding gum line. If your gums are receding, then you will see less of them. I think it was just the way he, like, what do? Do you pull his lips down further to cover those gums? I'd love to know.
Well, he has this funny smirk when he smiles that one lip goes up higher than the other.
Like,
and when you're
massive.
looking at him, it's on the left side, so it's on his right side. And yeah, he's got a crooked smile. Go figure. And it's really, it's just like, I don't know, like
Yeah.
his bucky teeth are just awful, and he can't hide them. He's licking those fucking gums and teeth. It's so disgusting. And that voice of his, oh, he's just gone downhill so fast.
Yeah.
Mike does make a point. Your teeth are even more prominent than ever. I think part of, I mean, they're super white, but I don't see the gums. The gums used to make me crazy. And I got to admit,
I'll send you the picture, and I'll send you the picture, and you'll see the difference. But it is,
Robin, what do you think?
Okay, guys. Well, again, we're going to leave it up to you guys. Once you see some photos and stuff, Howard's teeth are just as bad. Like, there is, and the work that he got done on his,
sure,
even worse in a lot of ways, because they clearly don't fit. Like we talked about this before. They have a way of doing it so that the color that your teeth were, you can get as close to it, and even in fact the same color. Technology and dental work has improved so much. They can make it look like they're straightened, but they're still the same teeth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, even Howard had bad gums and black shit in his teeth. It was awful.
Oh, awful, the worst teeth ever. But at least they were at least when you looked at him, you didn't go, yeah, well, you didn't get those fucking chompers. And now he looks like those teeth dentists use to fucking teach kids how to brush. Or those, you wind them up. I love those. This one, guys, is we're going to go into the April 22nd day. And this one ties him talking again about lying about reading the news.
The other thing that made me happy was Larry David. In the New York Times. I don't read the newspaper anymore, but psychically I know Larry David.
You saw something.
No, I didn't see it. I'm sure it somehow it entered my brain because that's just who I am. Yeah, he's a genius, Larry David. There's no question about it. He's a fucking brilliant guy.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant guy, but you'd never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, why is he brilliant? Just because of Seinfeld?
Or Seinfeld.
Because Seinfeld made
He didn't
money.
even watch.
He didn't watch either show.
Yes.
He's brilliant because
No.
he made shitloads of money. That's all.
So here's the thing. Bill Maher went and visited Trump.
Yep.
Larry David wrote an essay about it in the New York Times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into it any more than that. If you guys want to look it up yourself, you can.
Right.
We don't do politics, but that's why he is riding Larry David's ass, kissing his ass, basically, for what he said about Bill Maher going to Mar-a-Lago for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't read the news. That's the main thing here.
Is he angling for a Larry David interview?
I doubt it, because he is so unknowledgeable about Larry David, and Larry David is so quick.
Yes.
Him on Conan, no one's going to top that. I mean, that was a great interview.
Yeah,
but
Larry David.
He hasn't said that.
Well, yeah, he's not. It's not like the Woody Allen. Every so often, he'll talk about Woody Allen as desperately trying to get that big whale. But again, he's not coming on. He wants Dylan. Dylan will definitely never do the Howard Stern show. That's just it's beyond question. And but if he did, I would love it, because both times I would love it, because Larry David does not suffer idiots.
No, he would flip him inside out, upside down, and smack him against the wall a few times, which would be great. But if Dylan comes on, I am not clipping that. That is all you.
I'll clip it. I can't stand Dylan in any way, shape, or form. I got a buddy. He doesn't have just every single Bob Dylan album. He has bootlegs, all on vinyl, all like entire wall. Like you have a bookshelf of encyclopedias and books and different whatever. He has all Bob Dylan, and his poor kid, I'm certain when the guy dies, that kid's going to take all those Dylan records and throw them in the garbage because he'll have been sick of Dylan. At any rate, we'll continue the thing, guys, and then go to the next clip.
I haven't read it yet. I know it exists just like you do, but
we don't read the paper unless we're in it. Even if we're in it, we especially don't read it.
Yeah, somebody has to tell us at this point.
Yeah, the thing is, he doesn't want any negative blowback if he wants to talk politics now. That's what he's more afraid of than anything. This is one of those situations where any press is still not good press. Like, bad press is not good press to him anymore.
Right. And he's still catering to the liberals in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And that's the circle that he keeps company with when he goes to these destination weddings or Jennifer Aniston and that whole crew. So he can't get political. It would cost him all of his social life with Fallon, or not Fallon. Yeah, Fallon, Kimmel.
Just about it. Yeah. And it's
just about all of them. Bon Jovi.
I think it's sad.
Robert Downey.
I think it's sad that you can't just interview whoever you want and the people understand that you do an interview show and that you have different guests on. They say it as, well, you're platforming these people. Well, he's not platforming, what he's not Duterte. Like, he's not giving platforms to people with, certain, human rights violations. It's most of the time it's, it should be a situation where he should be allowed to interview whoever he wants, but he's playing the game as best he can. And even then, he's not filling up his show with every interview he possibly can, which in my opinion would be way better than what he's doing with these quote unquote grooving shows.
Yeah. Well, I just had a thought occur to me about who it might have been that got Bowie up against a wall down in Sirius in the fishbowl. Jim Brewer. And Jim Brewer is a strong Republican conspiracy theorist guy. So there's no way he's ever coming back on the show. And he was on that show so many times.
Quite a lot.
Doing Goat Boy. Yeah, all his impressions, Ozzy.
Yeah.
He was fun. But, he went down a path in life that he has his own podcast, I think. I don't know. I'm sure he does. He has some outlet that I see him in all these clips on TikTok and stuff. It's just, he doesn't jive with Howard's viewpoint, and Howard won't have anybody that doesn't meet him on the same side or is neutral. If you're a Republican, you're not getting on this show. If you're outspoken Republican.
And even if you're not outspoken Republican, if you're a conspiracy theorist, which some people think goes hand in hand with a certain, with being right wing, but if you're too out there, if you're like, I'm trying to think of just some maverick that decides like I'm just going to full on into Building 7 and all this other horse shit. Like he doesn't want anybody that's going to necessarily be a lightning rod for controversy. Like if it was Milo Yiannopoulos, right, or somebody like that, he couldn't have him on in a New York second. He couldn't, because he'd be so afraid of what would happen just by giving him the opportunity to speak. So it doesn't matter who it is. If they're too hot to handle, Alec Baldwin's a perfect example. Cannot have Baldwin in because, and he is, the part of that, that liberal sort of part of the industry that he should have on, but because of the whole manslaughter thing, which he got thrown out of court. I get all that, but it's still too much. He hasn't been on the show since.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Do you think he'll ever get back on?
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
If Wiggy's still on the air in 5, 6, 7 years, maybe, once some time has passed. But, right now that movie's a flop. The show that he's doing with his wife and kids is just a cringe fest. I don't know. I don't think there's anything really good to talk to him about right now.
No.
He's not on SNL anymore.
Nope. And
he's just, doing anything he can to find some work to get out of the house away from those kids.
Oh, and his wife,
her number one. Yeah.
Yeah, big time. So this next one is it's a new album and a new song by Kanye West, or Ye, as he calls himself, even though it looks like Ye, it's spelt that way. Like, oh, rest ye merry gentlemen. So the song's called Cousins, and it may be one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm not joking. I've heard like that Rebecca Black song Friday. That's like Mozart. Right. That's like Mozart compared to this song. I've never, honestly, Kendrick Lamar I can't stand, and Kanye, he might have a couple good songs, but this is awful. Did you objectively? Okay. Could you objectively disagree?
Oh, I don't disagree. I just wanted to give some backstory.
Yeah.
On what I didn't clip, and Kanye came out this week. I think tweet. I still say tweet because I refuse to use the word X.
Same.
I just say Twitter and tweet.
It's Twitter.
Put out the story that his cousin and him, who were close in age, about a year apart, I don't know who was older, it doesn't really matter, from like the ages of 6 to 14, would find Playboys in his dad's room, and then his mom had some kind of
Fetish
gay
stuff?
male porn magazines, and they
Right.
would reenact what they saw in the magazines.
Right.
So basically blowjobs, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was any more, but that's what Kanye's going to reference. And I think I clipped the part of the song that Howard's going to make fun of. And then Howard, in his non-comedic trash, just dumpster fire of a show with all of his 70 writers, comes up with these songs. And so I have a bunch of short clips about how Howard tried to imitate Kanye's song. And normally he hates Kanye because Kanye posts about Jews and
anti-Semitism.
Anything anti-Semitism. But this time Howard flipped, and now he's all enamored with Kanye because Kanye is singing about giving his cousin a blowjob at age 6, which is right in line with Wiggy's brand of, incest or
Taboo.
pedophilia. Yeah, things that are just completely deranged and degenerate.
Yep.
But it definitely spurred some creative juices in Howard, and this is what we got. I'm sorry, guys, in advance.
Keep in mind, and this is what I thought when I first read the article. I think it was in I can't remember, one of those like BuzzFeed or something like that. I don't remember the website, but offhand, they all kind of, they sponge off each other. I felt that the story that Kanye said actually might have been complete bullshit. And he's doing this the same way, Marilyn Manson decided to go glam on that third album of his or whatever, and decided, we're going to go down this road and see what kind of sales we can get. So, because these guys are nothing if not calculated. You go into a studio, you're going to do this. Mm-hmm. You don't think you're going to get controversy by talking about this, or that your wife goes to these award parties, or your girlfriend goes in like naked at these parties. It's not going to get attention.
Right.
They're all whores. They're all attention whores. And I'd be
totally agree.
I believe it's all bullshit, and it's just Kanye going off again and trying to do his best to get, because he's thirsty as fuck. And you guys, when you hear the song, you tell me what you think, and you'll really thank Raven for the dedication when you compare like real music versus this trash.
Mm.
Yeah. Go
real
ahead.
quick. I think his whole relationship with the Kardashians has gone to shit. So he's trying to embarrass them as well. And some of the blind items that I've read insinuate that he might be going after them next. And this is just teeing up the ball before he starts attacking Kim and the mom, Chris.
Mm-hmm. Look, and he has my full support on that, because I hate that family just as much as I hate him.
Well, right. The enemy of my enemy.
Yeah. So, well, here we go.
This song is called Cousin, about my cousin that's locked up in jail for life for killing a pregnant lady a few years after I told him we wouldn't look at dirty magazines together anymore. Perhaps in my self-centered mess, I felt it was my fault that I showed him those dirty magazines when he was 6, and then we acted out what we saw. So they were 6. My dad had played...
So he was the perpetrator. He started the whole thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. My dad had Playboy magazines, but the magazines I found in the top of my mom's closet were very different. I don't know what that means.
What were these magazines like? Black Pipe Cleaner? What the fuck? Honestly, I don't understand how different they could be. Back in the day, like I mean, I've seen some. One of the worst I ever saw was 60 plus. It was all grannies doing porn.
Oh.
But he bought it at a garage sale. He showed it to me, and I just fucking lost it. It was like that Kathy Jones clips that Artie laughs at, that people play all the time. Oh, take it, you old fucking hag.
Oh,
My
stop.
name is Ray, and I sucked my cousin's dick until I was 14, and then here's his song about it, which is Very, very honest and brave, actually. You know, you got to
Well, is
say.
it a good song, though?
What?
That's all I care about.
You want to know? I listen.
Honest and brave. No, it's disgusting, and we don't know that it's honest.
Well, he's just jealous because he can't talk about his friend Alan, who used to come over his house and they'd jerk each other off.
Guaranteed,
To it.
yeah.
At first, I thought, I'm not even sure this is a song. And then I got listening to it, and the fucking song is kind of catchy. I got to give
Kind
it
of
to him.
catchy, huh?
Yeah, but you got to hang with it for a while because it's just very shocking.
Hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We sing to niggas just like we ain't know what that shit mean. Then we start reading everything that we are saying. That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
I gave my cousin head. Like you can make it out. It's not that difficult, but it's such a it's such a non-song. Like this is like shitty spoken word.
It's just bad auto-tune. It's bad lyrics. And I don't know if he's going for like a rock kind of
Like
sound.
bass heavy,
It's-
yeah.
It's not the Kanye that I'm used to hearing. That's all.
Oh, it's just, but there's going to be, young kids are going to go like, wow, this is groundbreaking. No, it's shit. There's the word. And I'm not saying this because I'm grandpa and they're all young and this is new and hip. New isn't necessarily a good thing. That new should not be an indication of something being good or not. Like, what was that one, Childish Gambino? What was that one? This is America. That song that, well, I think
This Is America.
I think the video won some major awards and the song might have too. I don't like the song. I thought the video was amazingly done. It was a masterpiece of visual, like, mastery, like technical mastery, but I hated the music. I hated the song.
Well, there you go. I liked it. So there's something for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Like music is subjective, but
Completely.
when you get this from Kanye, this is really
That's not subjective.
okay.
That's- yeah.
If somebody out there likes it, no judgment. No
I will.
judgment.
I
Just
will.
it's not for me. Well, you're a music snob, so you're
I am
allowed
totally,
to.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, like, anyway, we'll play the rest of it. But then Howard starts to fucking make his own version of it, so to speak. But
Yeah, if you thought it couldn't get worse than
Yeah.
Kanye, it gets way worse.
right, so
Way
listen
worse.
to more of this fucking mastery, guys.
I gave my cousin head. Start again, just like and I know these niggas about to judge me now. I know these niggas about to judge me now. Load it up for me.
Who's the engineer? High Pitch Eric?
We Beetlejuice, I don't know.
Yeah.
I told my cousin not to tell nobody. People tell me take it to my grave. Truth will set you free someday.
Oh.
I don't think they understand that I'm not attracted to a man. If I don't skate. Nitrous don't help me, it just put me in a trance.
I don't know. It's kind of
Oh, wait
catchy in a
minute.
weird
There's-
way.
There's
It's
a,
not
a-
catchy. If he wasn't talking about sucking off his cousin, you don't give this a second listen. No, I mean,
right.
like, really, realistically, like,
You're right, you're right.
What's the most important aspect of that song? The musicality of it, or the fact that he's talking about some gay shit and incest?
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And the fact that he teed up Wiggy to like come out with some really, really awful things that don't rhyme, don't have any musicality,
no.
don't have anything giving to them. Nothing.
Yeah. So here's the first copy clip. Wiggy's disaster.
How about this one? I ate my brother's ass. I ate my brother's ass. It's kind of catchy. I was going to write a.
This is fucking joyless division, guys. So we'll go with number 4, 79 humor.
Swallowed my cousin's huge load. Swallowed my cousin's huge load. How do you like that? That's pretty catchy.
Hey,
Right.
it's truth in broadcasting anyway. Next one, hot trash.
I'd like to sing about it.
I saw my
Saw my no, Robin. I saw my mom's giant bush. I saw my mom's giant bush. Then I came on my cousin's face. He should have combined his Nazi stuff with the cousin stuff and just be, I wish the Jews were dead. I gave my cousin head. What do you think of
Now
that?
there's something.
Well, we're back in grade 7, guys writing lyrics on the fly, with all the the wisdom of a young fucking Rodgers and Hammerstein. Go ahead.
Hey, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I hope you're hearing all of this. Thank you.
Yeah, big time. Disco Pelican Jealous. Oh, that's the next. Oh, wait a minute. Was that it? Yeah, I think so. No,
Yeah, you're
Disco
right.
Pelican Jealous. Jealous. That's the next clip.
Trying to think of all the weird stuff I've done in my life, and then I could write a hit song about it. I was actually emailing with Rick Dees last night. I was thinking about Rick, and Rick had a hit song. I'm so jealous of that.
You still carry on about that.
This could be
Yeah.
your disco duck.
Yeah, I need a song. I just like something like one of the things I did when I was a kid, when I get angry, I'd go to my room and chew on my furniture. So I'm thinking like, I chewed on my furniture. Nah, that doesn't good.
Grit in your underwear.
My mom washed my underwear in the sink.
Oh man, this is
Wow.
this is among the worst shit I've ever heard in decades of Howard Stern. As bad as he's ever been, this is really as bad. This is worse. This is still worse. I'm amazed.
Yeah, it's just every day worse and worse and worse.
He's finding new ways to suck.
Yes.
Oh, my lord. So the next one is pure 112% garbage.
Stuff from an upcoming album, and he just changed the name of his album to Cucks.
Cucks, what's that mean?
Cucks, like like if you're if you like to swing and you like to watch your wife get fucked, you're a cuck.
I hate all the Jews. I swallowed my cousin's goo. What do you think of that? Combining his hatred of Judaism and... Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we got the answer. What do you think of that?
Yeah, thanks,
No
Robin.
comment. Yeah.
Hitler was so
She can't even laugh at
rad.
this.
My cousin's load tasted bad. Bad. Oh, I was
I
laughing
think
so
he
hard.
needs a writing.
A writing tutor like Howard. Howard needs an everything tutor, for fuck's sake. He
Whew.
could.
Okay, we
yeah.
made it through.
We did. Thank God. Thank you for clipping them, though. That is fascinating.
It's very telling.
Yeah. Next one's called Raging Sissy Boy, and this is all about the Knicks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
True, and it leads into Beth's brothers and father and mother coming to visit for
Oh, yeah.
Easter or Passover. Yeah.
Yeah, must be. They're all probably going like, okay, I guess we got to do this. Fine, fuck it. Catholic family, have them over. But it doesn't sound like he has them over very often. Maybe once one of the brothers, once or if I think if the one brother has kids, that might be something to, connect them a little bit now with the grandkids. I don't know, just having kids over so they can see Aunt Beth. But I don't believe they see them all that much, and I don't believe she goes out to see them either.
No, I think the mother and father have a condo in Florida, so
Yeah.
she probably sees them quite often. But the brothers live out of state. I don't know where.
Yeah.
And then the kids come and play with the cats and the bunnies. There's usually a Instagram photo or something, but it's just nothing comes of it. I mean, really,
No.
who cares?
Yeah.
Boring as fuck.
I actually was disappointed because I finally watched, the Knicks. I watched the sport, and I felt very masculine watching it. And I'm so busy with very, like my wife even says I'm a woman because I watch Beverly Hills Housewives. I watch the Beverly Hills Reunion. Then I watch 1,000-Pound Sisters. I watch
Bachelor.
Hallmark movies.
I'm sorry. Like, guys, we don't talk about that stupid expression again, forfeiting your man card. He's lost the whole deck.
Yeah, he never really held on tight anyway. So
Yeah.
don't forget about Dancing with the Stars. Another,
Oh, yeah. Jazz. I love jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All that Euphoria.
Hunter
love.
Schafer,
Hunter
Euphoria,
Schafer.
yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm effeminate, I guess. I don't know. What would you say,
We know.
I mean, what am I, the weird one? So, anyway, So I
Okay, so here we go with Hillbilly Beer Brothers, and this is specifically the Ostrosky clan encounter.
anyway. So I watched the Knicks because I love the Knicks.
No, you don't.
I don't know why I do. I just love the Knicks. When I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of the Knicks games. With Walt Frazier and all the Pearl Monroe and all the Willis Reed. You name it. And so I felt pretty good about myself. And then when Mike Rappaport called in yesterday. I go, hey, man, how about the Knick game? Did you watch it? And he's just like, hey, fuck that. Let's talk about Gary's teeth.
Gary's teeth.
Yeah. Gary's teeth.
Gary's teeth.
I was like,
Gary's teeth.
No. I'm being masculine. I was feeling particularly feminine because last week my two very masculine brother-in-laws came over.
It's brothers-in-law, by the way, arsehole. I hate when people do that.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Irritating.
They're both 6'7". They both played practically professional sports.
These are two guys who are taller than.
No, they don't practically play it or literally play it.
Can I give you some quick stats?
By all means.
Okay. Doug was a quarterback at Penn State.
Yes.
He played in 2 games. He had 1 rushing attempt for -3 yards. That is his lifetime stats. That's not almost professional.
It's not even close.
And Dave went to the University of Vermont, played basketball, Division I.
Yeah.
Actually played like 20 games a season. So he was more of an athlete than Doug.
Yeah.
Doug rode the bench for 4 years, got in 1, maybe 2 games, did nothing in the second game, and basically was probably a drunk frat boy, as far as I can tell, with a business degree, which is just the most basic degree you can probably get, besides like early education. And I'm talking for jocks. I'm not talking for people who are serious about their careers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about dumb jocks that have to pick a major.
Yeah.
And don't know, what they're going to do, so they just get business.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, like what he's talking, like Howard doesn't know sports, so for him to say even say that, they're basically pro players, whatever. There's a very big difference between even someone who's a good college player and a pro. Like there's in any sport,
right,
any sport.
Yeah, you go to the minor leagues, you go to AAA, you go like I always know baseball terms. I don't know the football terms, but you do training camps. You do the what's the tryouts they have where they do all their times and things.
Oh, like the combine is what they call
combine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't even get close to any of that. They couldn't even sniff the jocks of the guys at those things. So they've never been close to pro.
No,
they were just guys that got free college education because they were big doofuses who could put a ball in a hoop.
Yeah.
And the other guy could bash heads with his helmet. So congratulations, cavemen.
Yeah, no, like the scouts that they have for such things, like they have a very good system of how to get people based on metrics. How fast can they run? How hard, like, the size. If their size is extraordinary and they've got good movement, they might make it into, they might become defensive tackles. There's something about them that has an X factor, whatever. But they have a very good system of cutting who's good for the NFL, who's good for, MLB, whatever it is. Even in Puerto Rico, they have scouts. They have fucking Cuba, they have scouts. Like they do as much as they can, keep an eye on these. That's their job, to keep an eye on these things. The Ostrosky brothers, if they were anything, would have been picked up somewhere.
Yeah, this was a joke.
Horseshit.
Yeah, they're taller than me. And they're into like lifting weights, and their experience in high school was they were the superstars of their school. Best brother Doug went and played for Penn State under Coach Paterno, and our brother Dave went to the University of Vermont and got a full ride. He was, was a star basketball player. These dudes are ultra masculine. And, when they come to the house, like, I'll give you an example. Like, her brother Doug, he didn't even pack clothes to come here. He just packed his entire suitcase with this beer that they like. You know what I mean? Like, he's super masculine.
Right. Doesn't think about clothing.
These cans of beer in a suitcase,
You're
like
kidding.
probably 2 cases,
Oh,
flew
duty
to
free,
Florida.
Yeah, maybe.
And
No, it's
they're
domestic. It's
IPAs.
no duty free. Okay, yeah, it's IPAs. All right, they just literally brought beers with them as baggage.
This reminds me of Richard Christie. He travels with beer too, in a suitcase when he goes places.
That's retarded.
He has pumpkin beer.
Oh God.
I've got ham beer, skunk beer. Howard doesn't make fun of the hillbilly bros for them bringing their fancy IPA beer there, but he'll make fun of Richard.
Well, don't you find that a little too like, what is it? They're going to a dry county when they go to his house because he doesn't have any whiskey. He doesn't have any kind of hooch there for it. Like, that's the thing. If you bring, I'll tell you something. I have friends that went to Iran. They traveled to Iran. It's a dry country. They researched where they could drink in a fucking dry country. That's how much they needed to drink while they were on vacation, because not because, they're stressed or whatever, but because they're alcoholics. They're functional alcoholics. And I'm like, if you're thinking too much about where your next drink is coming from, you're an alcoholic.
You definitely have issues. And to put up with the Pelican, you're going to need some alcohol to sit around for hours and hours. Now, it turns out they watched the Masters.
Yeah.
Which is the weekend before Easter. And, they were outside throwing the football around. We'll get to all that. But they were probably loaded half the time. Howard claimed to have stocked the house with beer. I doubt it. Maybe Beth did, but I don't think so.
No way.
I think the last time they came, they probably had to make a beer run. And they were like, fuck this shit. We're going to bring our favorite beer.
Well, yeah. It occurs to me that if they went knowing that the place is stocked, why are you going to bring it?
Because they don't drink mainstream beer. They want specialized beer they can only get in their state, according to Howard. Yeah. If this is at all true, any of this. Keep in mind, it's all with like 50% doubt in my mind that any of this is true. It's just time filler.
Such nonsense.
Time killer.
Yeah, and we're sitting and eating dinner, and my brother-in-law Dave is drinking this beer, and I go, what's the story on this beer? What's the story on the beer? He goes, I won't drink that shit they sell. I'd only drink an IPA. I think he said IPA. I go, and I didn't want to say, oh, what's that? Because, then I'm ultra femme. I go, yeah. What's with that IPA beer? And evidently, it's like that beer Richard Christie drinks. Like it's like
Richard talks about
beer.
IPAs all the time. They're micro brews. They don't make. It's not mass produced.
Right. Yeah. IPA must be like independent something or something. You know what I mean? I don't even know. I don't drink
beer for people who hate beer, basically. Yeah. Now I'm a purist about this stuff. I don't care for any of these fucking things because they're all, that's a whole other topic. But now there's one thing though. If you want, I totally understand it if they were going to bring a bottle of something specifically for, let's say, a gift for Howard or for Beth. That's different than carrying your own beers because you can't get them here. Like, you can't make do with whatever beers in the fucking Hamptons somewhere. Come on.
This would have been a perfect time for him to do the Total Wine commercial and have the brothers talk about how they loaded up on their favorite beer that's from their state, but they sell it in Florida. Like, he is so uncreative with even his lies and like coming up, with different ways to sell stuff. He could have had Beth come in and talk about that shit. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Okay, let's keep going. We got a lot to get through yet.
Yep.
Drink beer. I don't drink. But these guys, they'll knock back a couple. And the two of them were so thrilled that Doug brought the IPA beer that literally, like my brother-in-law, like he could have come here with just like a carry-on bag, but on the plane, he had he had a suitcase full of beer because it was, because they both enjoy it.
That's class.
Oh.
So the next one is called Grandpa Doesn't Know Rheingold Beer Ended in 1987.
8 years ago.
Fuck, I remember that when I was a kid. It was a famously like, and they sold and they got discontinued, or they just ended like they went out of business.
I have no clue because it wasn't on my radar. I've never heard of this beer until now.
Okay,
this
I heard
is like
about
a
it when I was
grandfather
kid.
Beer.
Yeah. That would be like there's all kinds of them. Like what was one? New Amsterdam,
Schmitz, Black Label. Like I know some of the old beers, but
Iron City, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, IPA stands for India Pale Ale, which I don't even understand. India, I guess that's I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, I know everybody talks about IPAs. I didn't know India Pale. What?
Here's the definition: India Pale Ale is a hoppy beer style. Listen to this: hoppy beer style within the broader category of pale ale. So I said to my brother-in-law, it originated in the United Kingdom to be exported to India. I go, let me ask you something. Like, you won't drink, I don't know if they still make, like, Rheingold, but I go, do they, like, you wouldn't drink Blue Ribbon?
So his first beer reference that came to mind, beside what he was mentioning about these things, but you still didn't mention, an IPA is generic. You don't know, like, what one are you talking about? He mentions a beer that is literally, 87, so 40 years ago? 30 years
38
ago?
years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Of all the beers he could have mentioned, that's the one he comes up with. Not like Lowenbrau or, something that's not around as much anymore.
Dude, he used to hawk Heineken's and Beck's on the air.
Yeah.
In 2005. He could have got at least to that point.
No, not our guy. Not Mr. 79.
Jesus.
Or Coors.
So out of touch.
Because when I was a kid, Coors was the thing. If you could get a Coors, they only had it in Colorado and some other states. Right. He goes, oh, no, man. He goes, I wouldn't drink that. I just wouldn't have a drink. I go, what? You wouldn't drink? If I served you a Coors or I don't know, what's the beer?
Heineken.
Heineken. No, I wouldn't. These guys are so masculine. And Beth's sitting there listening to all this, and she's probably like, what's with my husband? He didn't know anything.
Sorry, there's nothing masculine about IPAs. A real man drinks any fucking beer, anytime, any place. I'm sorry to say, and you don't get froofy about that. I mean, people have their preferences. I get it, but I love beer that tastes like beer. To me, a good Molson X in a bottle, like ice cold bottle, is fantastic. But are there people that love I know Len loves his craft beers, but I've never liked them.
This is one of those times I'm glad I have an outlet to speak, a platform, because the last time I had a beer was about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I got a 6-pack at a Wawa of Yuengling Lager, which is a Pennsylvania beer. It was one of my favorites. It's a real chill beer. It's not heavy or anything. I noticed the cap was kind of ajar, right? Like it was mangled, and I was like, oh, this is going to be flat. Oh, it was worse than flat. I took that cap off, and then I hold the beer up, and I look inside, and there is a dead frog, baby frog, in the bottom of it. Yes, this was down in Florida, so there's a brewery down there that they stock at the local Wawa, and I have not gone back to that Wawa because they've also stolen my ATM number at that Wawa.
Holy shit!
And I saw a woman puking outside that needed an ambulance and was pregnant. I think she was ODing, but I'm not sure. So I'm like, what kind of fucking neighborhood am I in that this Wawa, all this bad shit's happening? I called Yuengling to tell them about it and be like, what the fuck? Like they offered me a t-shirt, Fillmore, a t-shirt. I said, do you think I'm going to sponsor your brand and advertise for you after you giving me this shit beer? I said, I've been drinking this beer for 20 years or more.
Oh, wow.
On a regular basis. I'm done with you. In fact, I haven't had beer since. Oh, wow. I've been straight wine ever since.
It's better for you in any event. I mean, like it's calculable. It's actually like most physicians of note will tell you wine is better for you than dark alcohol, any hard alcohol, and beer certainly. So. It's a lifestyle choice, and there's certainly it's not like you can't find wines. You're gonna find a wine you like somewhere.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Yuengling. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Jesus, frogs.
I would get off a plane from Cleveland on a Sunday, and there'd be a wedding in her family. And I go, Dave, listen, I would rather dunk my head in acid than go to your second cousin's wedding right now. And I said, Dave, go apologize. She goes, you think we're coming? I said, Dana, I'll give him $2,500.
Right.
Okay, I made $40,000 this weekend. Take 2 of it. Give it to your fucking cousin. And say it's either Artie's not here in $2,000, or Artie's here and you got $100. You cover the plate. I'm sure they won't give a shit.